Want to see more cool videos on our channel? We do, so press this bell and enable to send notifications.
Believe it or not, these structures are not only the product of architectural intellect, but there are other tempting reasons as well behind the existence of these unique structures. Why would one desire to fit in a super thin space? The reason could be a limited space, economics, or innovative use of small spaces. But as it turns out, this has not always been the case. A man in Beirut built a wall-like house intended to block the sea view of his brother's house, an ultimate example of sibling annoyance. Here is the list of some of the thinnest buildings in the world. The Molyneux Hotel, Spain. Are you planning to visit some unusual place this summer vacation? Well, this one is the place you should check in. The Molyneux Hotel has officially been the world's narrowest since 1996, with a maximum width of just 5.2 meters. Don't be worried about these measurements because this hotel features just 9 rooms across 3 floors and a reception desk that doubles as a cafeteria. The Molyneux Hotel is also famous for providing direct access to Granada's famous Alhambra through its lobby. The Carrot House, Poland. What happens when an architect thinks out of the box? A seemingly impossible vision conceives in the form of this building, which is nicknamed as Cushion of Air. It's sandwiched between 2 buildings which were built in different periods. Built in 2012, the Carrot House has been described as the narrowest house in the world, measuring only 3 feet at its thinnest point and 5 feet at its widest. The building is designated as art installation because it doesn't meet Polish housing codes. Nonetheless, this artifact is drawing a significant amount of international attention to the city of Warsaw. Carrot House is always open for travelling writers for a night stay. That's a blessing for a writer, isn't it? Phoenix Tower, Melbourne, Australia. Australia is famous for its natural wonders and wide open spaces, but Phoenix Tower proves otherwise. At an astonishing 6.7 meters wide and 88.5 meters tall, with a height-to-width ratio of 13.2 to 1, Phoenix Tower is considered as Melbourne's skinniest tower. Completed in 2014 with only 1 apartment per floor, the space in this building is so tight that lifts open directly into each residence. No wonder the Phoenix Tower falls under the category of skyscrapers, referred to as pencil towers or skinny scrapers. The Church of St. Maarten, Croatia. Do you regularly attend church services every Sunday morning? Well, Catholics in Croatia are blessed with one of the oldest worship places that's built into a small space within the ancient Golden Gate of Diocletian's northern wall. It's thought to be the narrowest church on planet Earth, restricted to a width of 1.34 meters and a length of 10 meters only. St. Martin's Church is situated above the northern gate of the Diocletian's palace, built in the 19th century, and it was previously used to be a passage for watchmen who would secure the entrance to the Diocletian Palace. It's currently in the care of the Dominican Sisters. Single 166, Amsterdam, Netherlands. Have you ever seen a house with the width of its front door? Red brick single 166 apartment in Amsterdam holds the title of the narrowest house in the whole of Amsterdam city, which has a fair share of slender buildings. The width of the house is just over 0.9 meters. Back then, houses used to be taxed on their widths, and one can wonder how much money has been saved by the owner of this house. Being smart spoils a lot of things, doesn't it? We won't forget to tell you about our other honorary mention, which is single 7, measuring only 1.05 meters across its front facade. Gap House, Clapham, London. Would you be willing to pay a whopping US $1.4 million for 7 feet and 7 inches? If yes, then London's Gap House could be your next residential place. Maximum comfort, minimum footprint is the idea behind building this place, which is even narrower than a train carriage. The house offers 4 bedrooms with a long landscape garden. You might be thinking that this little living space would be claustrophobic, but smart architectural design with sustainable solutions for this house allows ample penetration of natural light and ventilation deep into the plan to create rooms that felt spacious and light. Yyouyou House, Tokyo, Japan. Ever wonder what Japanese do best? It's their skills in micro-innovation, and this house is yet another example of it. Located in Toshima-ku, Tokyo, this 8-foot wide place crammed between 2 shabby shops is Tokyo's narrowest house. The tenants of this house are a couple and their cat. The stick-thin home has all the amenities like kitchen, living room, single bedroom, even a bathtub and high-rise deck. You guessed it right, these facilities are scaled down in volume by Yyouyou architects, who get them adjusted in such a narrow space. As it turns out, this property has street-facing floor-to-ceiling windows which compromise the privacy of the owner. Grudge House, Beirut, Lebanon. Have you ever been so annoyed in your life like this man, who built the thin wall-like house in Lebanon's most expensive and prime location just to block his brother's view to the sea? This weird, funny-looking building is a classic example of sibling annoyance, isn't it? The apparent reason for this grudge was a property inheritance dispute between the two brothers. This weird wall-like house was built in 1954 and is located in the north of the old lighthouse on Bliss. The house is just a bit over 13 feet at its widest point and just around 2 feet at its narrowest. Locals in Arabic call it Al-Basar, which translates to the Grudge. The thinnest building in Beirut was once a house to a number of prostitutes during the period of war in Lebanon. The Key House in Wales, England. When is thin too thin? With a floor area of a mere 3 meters and a height slightly over 3 meters, Key Building is the smallest officially recognised by the Guinness Book of Records in the UK. Located on the west coast of Wales in the sleepy fishing village of Conwag, this place is too small to accommodate a toilet inside. Wait, what? A house without a toilet? Yes, but it's still a perfect house which was constructed in the 16th century and occupied for more than 200 years until the Joneses finally moved out in 1900. This place is a popular tourist attraction, and bear in mind it's not free. Admission is £1 for adults and 50p for children. Brightons I 360 Tower, Sussex, England. A modern-day engineering marvel which stands 161 metres high and only 3.9 metres in diameter has won its place in the Guinness World Book of Records as the most slender tower. The building was conceived as a vertical pier, which offers views of up to 26 miles of the Sussex coastline. This tower is located at the shore end of the ruined West Pier, built with the aim to attract 739,000 paying customers every year who want to experience a 360-degree view across Brighton, the South Downs and the English Channel. The project's initial design also included a wind turbine at the top and rainwater harvesting facilities to help mitigate the environmental impact, but later on these proposals were dropped. High Cliff, Hong Kong. Hong Kong is a renowned place for its tall buildings in tight spaces. The building we're about to discuss is High Cliffs. You may not know this building by name, but you'll surely know it by sight. The skyscraper is located in front of Mount Nicholson and sets new limits of height and slenderness. The tower is the tallest of all residential buildings in Hong Kong, measuring 828 feet in height and a slenderness ratio of a mere 1:20, which is the highest for any residential building across the globe. The building has got much global acclaim for its remarkable design and secured first place in 2003's Emporis Skyscraper Award. The Samkey Building, Canada. Will you accept the invitation to work in Samkey's building in Canada that holds the title of shallowest commercial building in the world? Located at 8 West Pender Street in Vancouver, Canada, the Samkey building was originally constructed in 1913. The width of this commercial building is only 1.82 meters according to Guinness Book of Records. The irony is, this building is owned by a company which is one of Canada's wealthiest firms. Nowadays, this place is not only being effectively used for commercial purposes, but also plays an important part in the development and heritage conservation of Vancouver's Chinatown. 111 West 57th, Manhattan, New York. Everyone knows about the classic epitome of Manhattan skyscrapers, which are expressions of optimism and technical invention. Located in the heart of Midtown Manhattan and destined to be the world's most slim residential tower, this building has a height of 1,350 feet with an aspect ratio of 1:23. This will be the only building which is 13 meters wide, despite soaring more than 30 meters above the surface of the Earth. These figures make it a prominent landmark in the history of building skyscrapers around the world. Skinny House, 44 Hull Street, Boston. Do you know what Spite House is? The second house in our list, which was reputedly built by a man who inherited only a small patch of land to spite his neighbour by blocking his view. This skinny house is located at 44 Hull Street in the north end of Boston, Massachusetts, USA. It represents the narrowest of the narrow in terms of living space for a house, as reported by Boston Globe. The house spans 10.4 feet at its widest point with no main entrance. The only way to access the house is via a small alley. Sprohofstrabe in Reutlingen, Germany. This isn't a building, but the whereabouts of this street is worth reading in this list. According to the Guinness World Book of Records, Sprohofstrabe in Reutlingen is the world's narrowest street, and it was constructed in 1727 after a great fire. It was later opened as public street in 1820. Measuring just 31 centimeters across, this incredibly narrow route attracts hundreds of visitors every year, although it's advised by the local authorities to not actually travel down the street due to the risk of getting stuck. Did you love these interesting and fun facts about these peculiar buildings around the globe? Tell us, how skinny can you go? Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please let me know by clicking the like button. Do share, write a comment, and don't forget to subscribe so you can catch up my next video.